Donald Trump walked onto The Late Show with total dominance, ready to mock Colbert and shut down the DNA scandal once and for all. But within just a few minutes, the entire audience turned toward the truth. What happened next left everyone frozen in shock, and Trump had to walk off stage, completely out of control. The Late Show studio was electric that night, lights hot, cameras rolling, the audience already buzzing like they knew something big was about to drop. People had been talking about this appearance for weeks, Trump showing up on Colbert's turf to supposedly get even after that whole DNA mess blew up online. The crowd was split, some die-hard fans ready to cheer anything he said, others just there for the drama. Phones already out recording. When the doors swung open and Donald Trump strode out, that signature red tie swinging, the room exploded in a messy wave of cheers, boos, and nervous clapping. He flashed the big grin, waved like he owned the place. He moved straight to the guest chair with that walk he always does, shoulders back, chin up. He sat down, crossed his legs, leaned back like the chair belonged to him, and shot a look across the desk at Stephen Colbert. Colbert just sat there, cool as ice, giving a small nod to the crowd before turning those sharp eyes on Trump. No big smile, no fake warmth, just calm, focused, like a guy who already knew exactly how this was going to play out. The band wrapped up the intro music, the lights tightened on the two of them, and Colbert leaned into the mic. Welcome back to The Late Show. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, former President Donald Trump. More mixed noise from the crowd, louder cheers from one side, a few loud whoops from the other, and plenty of people just watching, waiting. Trump gave a little chuckle, waved again, then jumped right in before Colbert could even ask the first question. So, Stephen, Trump started, voice booming through the speakers, I gotta say, your ratings have been pretty sad lately. Really sad. I mean, people tell me all the time. They say, Donald, why are you going on that failing show? But I said, look, I'm a nice guy. I'll give him a little boost. You're welcome. He grinned wide, waiting for the laugh. Some people obliged with nervous chuckles, but a lot just stared. Colbert didn't miss a beat. He tilted his head, gave a tight little smile, and said, well, thank you for the charity, Mr. President. But since you're here to settle scores, maybe we should talk about the one thing you've been avoiding for months. He paused just long enough for the words to hang there. The audience went quieter. Trump's grin stayed locked in place, but you could see his eyes flick. Quick, sharp, like he was sizing up whether to laugh it off or hit back harder. Trump leaned forward a bit. Avoiding? Stephen, I don't avoid anything. Fake news, fake scandals, fake DNA reports. Come on, we've all seen this movie before. You throw something out there, hope it sticks. It never does. He shook his head, chuckled again, trying to pull the room back to his side. A few supporters clapped, but the rest of the crowd stayed dead silent. You could practically hear the air get thicker. Colbert didn't bite. He just nodded slowly, eyes never leaving Trump's face. We'll see about that, he said quietly, almost too calm. Then he reached under the desk, pulled out a slim folder, and set it on the table between them. No drama, no big flourish, just placed it there like it was the most normal thing in the world. Trump glanced at it, then back up at Colbert, still smiling, but now edge face starts to crack. Then Trump settled deeper into the chair, legs crossed, one arm draped over the back like he was hosting the show instead of guesting on it. He flashed that trademark grin again, the one that says he's already won before the fight even starts. So, Stephen, Trump said, voice carrying that familiar New York edge, let me tell you something. This country misses me. People come up to me every day, tremendous people, and they say, sir, we need you back. And I tell them, look, I'm busy making billions, but maybe. He paused for the laugh he expected. A chunk of the crowd gave it to him. Scattered cheers, a few loud, USA, shouts from the back. But the rest? Just polite claps or straight-up silence? Trump didn't seem to notice, or maybe he just didn't care. He kept rolling. Your show, though, used to be funny. Now it's just angry. All these late-night guys, angry. Sad. I mean, Jimmy Fallon? Nice guy. Doesn't attack me. You attack. Every night. But that's okay. I like fighters. Keeps things interesting. He pointed a finger across the desk, half smiling, half challenging. The audience reacted in waves, some laughed nervously, others shifted in their seats, whispering to the person next to them. You could see the split clear as day, one side eating it up, the other side already uncomfortable. Colbert stayed perfectly still, elbows on the desk, hands folded, just watching. No fidgeting, no fake smile. His eyes never left Trump's face. He let the boast hang there for a beat, then another, until the room started to feel the weight of the quiet. Finally he spoke, voice low and even. You know, Mr. President, I've been doing this job a long time. And yeah, sometimes I get mad, but mostly I just like asking questions people don't want answered. He tilted his head slightly. Like, for example, family stuff. You talk a lot about loyalty, legacy, all that. So I'm curious, how much do you trust the people closest to you to keep certain secrets? The question landed like a pin drop in a quiet room. Trump's grin froze for half a second, barely noticeable if you weren't looking close. Then he laughed loud and sharp. Secrets? Stephen, come on, you're reaching. My family? Tremendous. The best. Melania? Beautiful, classy. Barron? Smart kid, tall, handsome. No secrets, just winners. He waved his hand like he was brushing away a fly. You want dirt? Go dig somewhere else. This is fake news territory again. But the damage was done. The audience felt it. Murmurs started rippling through the seats. Soft at first, then spreading. A woman in the third row leaned over to her friend and whispered something. The friend's eyes went wide. A guy closer to the front crossed his arms, eyebrows up, staring hard at Trump like he was waiting for the next shoe to drop. Phones stayed raised, but now more people were recording silently. No cheering, just watching. Trump sensed the shift. He always does, and doubled down. Look at this crowd, he said, gesturing wide. Half of you love me, half of you hate me. That's America. That's what makes it great. But let me tell you, when I win again, and I will, big league, you'll all be saying, thank you, President Trump. He chuckled, expecting the room to come back to him. It didn't. The cheers were thinner this time, drowned out by the growing hum of unease. People glanced at each other, at Colbert, at the folder still sitting untouched on the desk between them. Colbert hadn't touched it yet. He didn't need to. He just sat there, calm, letting Trump talk himself deeper into the hole. Every boast, every deflection, every forced laugh only made the air feel heavier. Colbert leaned forward just a fraction. We'll get to the winning part later, he said quietly. Right now, I think we should talk about what's actually in that folder. He tapped it once. Light, deliberate. Trump's eyes flicked to the folder again. His smile stayed, but it looked tighter now. Then Colbert didn't rush it. He just picked up the folder with 2 fingers, like it weighed nothing, and held it up so the cameras could catch every inch. The studio lights bounced off the plain white cover. No fancy graphics, no dramatic label, just a simple document that suddenly felt like it was sucking all the air out of the room. Mr. President, Colbert said, voice steady, almost soft, this is a certified DNA paternity report, independently verified, multiple labs, chain of custody clean. He paused, letting the words sink in. It shows without any doubt that Melania Trump is not Barron's biological mother. The room went dead, not quiet, dead, like someone hit mute on the whole audience. No gasps at first, just this heavy, stunned silence that pressed down on everyone. Then it cracked. A woman in the middle row let out a sharp inhale, hand flying to her mouth. A guy up front whispered, "What the hell?" loud enough for the mics to pick it up. Phones that had been recording casually now zoomed in hard. A couple people actually leaned so far forward they almost fell out of their seats. The energy flipped from uneasy to electric in about 3 seconds flat. Trump's face didn't change right away. The grin was still there, locked in place like muscle memory. But his eyes, those sharp, darting eyes, went still for a split second. You could see the freeze hit him. Shoulders stiffen, jaw tighten, just a hair. Then, like flipping a switch, he barked out a laugh. Loud, forced, the kind that's meant to fill space and kill tension. "Stephen, come on," he said, shaking his head like it was the dumbest thing he'd ever heard. Maybe next time run that test on yourself. You might find out you're not even related to your own jokes. They're that bad. He chuckled again, pointing at the crowd for backup. A few scattered laughs tried to start, nervous, half-hearted, but they died fast. Most people weren't laughing. They were staring, waiting. Colbert didn't smile back. He just nodded once, calm as ever, and reached for a small remote on the desk. I figured you'd say something like that, he said quietly. So let's not take my word for it. He clicked the remote. The big screen behind them lit up. No warning, no buildup. A simple black background appeared first, then white text, authenticated lab recording, Independent Forensic Genetics Institute. Date, redacted for privacy. A middle-aged woman in a white coat filled the frame, sitting at a plain desk with test tubes and charts behind her. She looked straight into the camera. Professional, no nonsense. This is Dr. Elena Ramirez, lead geneticist on the case. Her voice came through clear. The samples provided matched the alleged subject to Donald J. Trump with 99.9998% probability of paternity. However, the maternal match to Melania Trump is 0. No biological relation. The results are conclusive and have been cross-verified by 2 additional accredited labs. The clip ended after 15 seconds. Screen went black. The studio felt like it had been punched in the gut. Gasps now, real ones. A ripple of shocked whispers turned into a low roar of murmurs. Someone in the back actually said, "Holy shit," out loud. Phones were everywhere. People filming the screen, filming Trump, filming each other's faces. The split in the crowd was gone. Even the diehards looked rattled, mouths open, eyes wide. Trump's laugh was gone. Completely. He stared at the now dark screen, then back at Colbert. His hands gripped the arms of the chair, knuckles white for a second before he caught himself and forced them to relax. "Fake news, total fake news," he barked, slapping the arm of the chair hard enough to make the mic pop. "This is what you do, Stephen. Rigged reports, rigged clips, rigged everything. You're a failing comedian on a failing network. Nobody watches this garbage anymore. Ratings in the toilet. You cook this up for clicks, for views, because without me, you're nothing. 0. Nada." He leaned forward, pointing right at Colbert's face. "You fabricated this whole thing. Admit it. You paid some lab hack to say whatever you wanted. Sad. Pathetic." The audience reacted in chunks. His core fans clapped and yelled, "Tell him," from the back rows, but the rest? Murmurs started low and angry, spreading like wildfire. Heads turned to each other, eyebrows raised, lips moving fast. A few people outright shook their heads, arms crossed tight. The split was cracking wide open now. Colbert didn't flinch. He waited until Trump's finger was still hanging in the air, then spoke slow and clear, like he was talking to a kid who just got caught lying. "Mr. President, the report isn't from me. It's from 3 independent labs. Chain of custody documented. No payments, no hacks, just science." He tapped the folder again, once, twice. "But if you think it's all fake, maybe the people who were in the room when you tried to bury it can tell us different." Trump snorted. "Bury what? There's nothing to bury because there's nothing there." Colbert gave the tiniest nod toward stage left. The lights shifted slightly, and a man in his late 50s walked out from the wings. Gray suit, no tie, face serious but steady. The crowd noise dropped instantly. Everyone recognized him. Michael Cohen's old deputy, a guy who'd been in Trump's inner circle for years before flipping quiet after the hush money stuff. He stopped a few feet from the desk, mic already clipped to his lapel. "I worked for the Trump Organization from 2012 to 2018, the man said, voice calm but cutting. "In early 2016, I was in a meeting with Mr. Trump and 2 other senior staffers. The topic was Barron's birth records. Mr. Trump said, and I quote, 'We need to make sure nobody ever questions who the real mother is. Handle it. Pay whoever you have to.' I overheard the follow-up calls, lawyers, doctors, threats to keep quiet. I kept records. I still have them." The room exploded into gasps and shouts. Phones shot up like rockets. Trump's mouth opened, closed, opened again. For the first time that night, he looked genuinely rattled. Eyes wide, face flushing red. "You're a liar," Trump shot back. voice cracking on the edge. Disgruntled employee, fired, bitter. You'd say anything for a paycheck from these clowns. The witness didn't blink. I wasn't fired. I left. And I have the emails, the call logs, the dates. Happy to turn them over to any real investigation. Colbert stayed rock steady. Thank you for coming forward, sir. Then he turned back to Trump. Anything else you want to call fake before we keep going? Trump opened his mouth to fire back, but before he could, a voice cut through from the audience. Loud, sharp, no hesitation. Hey, Trump, look at him and answer. Did you try to cover it up or not? The camera swung fast to catch the guy, 30s, baseball cap, standing up with his arms out like he was daring Trump to lie again. The crowd went nuts. Cheers, boos, a wave of, "Answer him," chants starting from different sections. Security edged closer, but nobody moved to shut it down. The question hung there, raw and direct. Trump whipped his head toward the guy. Sit down. You don't know what you're talking about. This is a setup. Rigged audience. Rigged show. But the damage was rolling. The murmurs turned into open disapproval. Shakes of heads, loud tisks, a few people yelling, "Liar!" from the middle rows. Trump tried to laugh it off again, but it came out thin, forced. His hands were clenched on the chair arms now, knuckles white. The witness stood there silent, eyes locked on Trump. Colbert just watched, letting the chaos breathe. The room was boiling now. Trump kept swinging, but every punch was landing softer, weaker. He leaned forward, jabbing a finger toward the witness, like he could make the guy disappear just by pointing hard enough. This guy? Total loser. Disloyal. He's been bitter since day one. Fired for cause, stealing, lying, you name it. Nobody believes a word out of his mouth. Trump's voice cracked higher on the last part, the boom turning into something almost shrill. He laughed again, forced, too loud, trying to drag the crowd back with him. Come on, people. You know the fake news game. They plant these clowns, edit clips, fake emails. It's all a big setup. But the laughter he was fishing for? Gone. Completely. The chuckles from earlier had dried up. What was left was a low, rumbling wave of disapproval. People shifting, shaking heads, muttering, "Come on, man," under their breath. The boos started small, scattered, then grew, rolling from the back rows forward like thunder picking up speed. Trump glanced around, clocking it, and his face tightened. He wasn't used to rooms turning on him this fast. Colbert waited until the noise crested, then spoke. Quiet, clear, cutting through the chaos like a knife. Humor doesn't change facts, Mr. President. That was it. Simple. No shout, no drama. Just those 6 words hanging in the air. The audience erupted. Real applause this time. Sharp and sudden, building into cheers that bounced off the walls. Hands clapped hard. A few people stood up without thinking, whistling. The energy flipped hard. Trump's side tried to counter with shouts of "fake," but they got drowned out fast. The tide had turned, and it wasn't coming back. Trump's jaw clenched. He shoved himself up out of the chair, sudden, aggressive, pointing at the witness like he was about to charge. "Get him out of here. This is my time. You don't bring liars on stage during my interview. Security, get this guy off." The witness didn't move. Security stayed put. Nobody was touching anyone. Colbert just reached under the desk again, calm as ever, and slid a thin stack of printed pages across the table. "Before we do that," he said, "maybe take a look at these. Leaked emails from your own team. 2016. Dated, signed, timestamps match what your former deputy just described. Orders to handle the birth certificate issue quietly. Payments logged, names redacted where needed, but the trail is clear." Trump stared at the papers like they were radioactive. He snatched them up, flipped through fast, too fast, then tossed them back down. This is nothing. Forged, Photoshop. You think I'm stupid? I've seen better fakes from CNN. His voice cracked again. The stammer was small, but everyone heard it. The crowd's boos swelled louder, deep, angry, unified now. Phones were everywhere, capturing every second. A chant started low in one section. "Truth, truth," and spread until half the room was on it. The witness stepped closer to the desk, voice steady but carrying real weight this time. "Mr. Trump, I was there when you said it. in the office. You looked right at me and said, if this ever gets out, it ruins everything. The kid's future, the brand, all of it. You weren't talking about politics. You were talking about your family, about lies you told to protect the image, and I kept quiet for years because I thought loyalty mattered more than truth. But it doesn't, not anymore. The words hit like a slap. Trump's face went through a flash of things: shock, anger, then something roar. His eyes flicked down for half a second, shoulders sagging just enough to notice. The bravado cracked wide open. No quick comeback, no deflection joke, just silence from the man who never shut up. The audience felt it. The boos turned into something else. Cheers for Colbert, wild and roaring. People stood up in waves, clapping, shouting his name. Stephen! Stephen! A few even turned toward Trump with outright disgust, shaking their heads like they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The split was dead. The room belonged to Colbert now, 100%. Trump stood there, breathing hard, hands balled into fists at his sides. He tried one last swing, voice hoarse. This is rigged. All of it. You'll see. You'll all see when the real story comes out. But nobody was listening. The cheers kept rolling, louder, drowning him out. The witness stepped back quietly. Colbert sat there, unmoved, eyes locked on Trump. Not gloating, just present. Trump stood there, chest heaving, trying to pull one last rally out of thin air. He waved both hands like he could erase the whole night. This is a hoax. Total hoax. Deep state, fake media, all of it. You'll see. The real truth comes out tomorrow, next week, whenever. Believe me. His voice cracked on the last word, thinner than before, almost pleading. The usual boom was gone. What came out sounded tired, desperate. Colbert didn't interrupt. He just sat back, hands folded, serene as ever. No smirk, no victory lap, just calm. He let Trump's words hang there, let them flop in the heavy air. The audience wasn't buying anymore. The boos rolled in steady waves now, mixed with sharp cheers for Colbert. Trump glanced around, saw the faces staring back. Disbelief, anger, finality, and his shoulders dropped a fraction. Then Colbert reached for the folder one last time. Before we wrap this up, he said quietly, pulling out a single glossy photo and sliding it toward the center of the desk. There's this, dated 2017. You and your lawyer in a private meeting. The caption on the back, your handwriting, says, suppress the test, no leaks. The photo's authenticated. Timestamp matches the emails we just showed. The room went pin drop silent. Trump stared at the photo like it had burned him. No quick comeback, no laugh, just frozen, mouth half open. The audience absorbed it in one collective breath, then exploded. Thunderous cheers, standing ovation, stomping feet. Stephen! Stephen! Chants started again, louder than before. Phones lit up the room like stars. The boos for Trump turned deafening. Trump tried to speak once more. That's not... But the noise swallowed him. He shook his head, muttered something nobody heard, then turned and walked off stage fast. Head high, but the stride stiff, defeated. The boos chased him all the way to the wings. Colbert stood up slow, gave a small nod to the crowd. Thanks for being here tonight, he said simply. Good night. The band kicked in, lights dimmed, but the energy didn't fade. People stayed on their feet, talking loud, buzzing. Phones were already posting clips. The night wasn't just over. It was viral, explosive, unforgettable. What started as Trump's revenge tour ended with truth hitting harder than any joke. The room chose facts over flair, and nobody who watched would forget it. Perceptions shifted in real time. The man who always controlled the narrative, for once he didn't, and the crowd made damn sure he knew it. If you're still here after that wild ride, you know this channel delivers the kind of drama, plot twists, and jaw-dropping moments you can't look away from. Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss the next explosive breakdown, heated confrontation, or truth bomb reveal. We're just getting started. More insane stories, real-time takedowns, and edge-of-your-seat content coming your way.